is just a way to indicate that we may have 4 official delegations, but we have people from everywhere across the globe here. So we are waiting for our First Lady that will be here, but we are going to go ahead and start program. As soon as the First Ladies are announced, we the we're going to proceed.
It was just something to do to create buzz about it, get a following to finance the longer.
I'm going to be today. I am humbled. My name is Lieutenant Kante Kayla, originally from Guinea. Just graduated from Rutgers University this past May. My presentation is short and simple. Nothing new, but just something that we have to emphasize on. When I read the question about coming up with a solution for Africa, I was overwhelmed with the question long, because I didn't know where to start. There's so many issues I could tackle. First thing that came to my mind, though, was education. We all know education is important. So I thought about a law that would prevent early school dropouts. So then I thought about some reasons why some parents would take their kid out of school. The main reason that I thought about, the main reason I concluded on was poverty. And poverty and unemployment goes hand in hand. If your daughter is sick and is an affordable medicine, but you don't have any money, why? Because you don't have any job. So the problem to be solved is poverty. Now, when I was in high school, I think sophomore year, in U.S. history class, it was the professor was Dr. Stern. He was talking about steam engines and the era of railroad and highways. I felt, at a young age, I felt like that was a big point in U.S. history. So I believe that highways, infrastructure, is a solution that would help create a whole lot of jobs. Investment in highways would create jobs. It's good for business. And it's long term, it benefits long term. And the public will benefit. Highway construction will create thousands of jobs. I'm not saying there are already highways in Africa, but there needs to be more highways on a massive scale. That will create a whole lot of jobs. I like to borrow a quote that instead of giving me a fish, teach me how to fish. I won't come back to again for a fish. Hopefully I won't. Yes. Okay. Job creation. Construction jobs. When you create a house, you gotta maintain it. So that will create there will be a need for maintenance job and highway patrol. You can hire young men to patrol the highway and rest areas. Gas stations, restaurants, and hotels and everything. And it will attract investors because everything is about money. You know, some people, once you get all these circulating in Africa, it would be a good business move to go in Africa and maybe build a hospital because there are people with money and they can afford to help. Next slide. Good for business, increase productivity, improve efficiency, and now they're thinking about speed. The other day I created a flyer for a guy. He said I want tomorrow evening. I want about tomorrow evening. If not, cancel it. You're going to get my money back. I said fine, I'll get it done tomorrow evening. Tomorrow evening comes, I sent it to the printing press. It wasn't done. The guy said give me my money back. I had to go, I don't want it anymore. Because he needed it by that deadline. So that goes to show you how competitive things are here. Good highways will create a lot of business to operate for speed. You know, if I can hear you, let's say I'll do that a little bit. I know the time right now is like 9 hours, but if I can do it in 4 hours, with Great Road. I can do it in 4 hours. That's even better. Now you can make several trips in 1 day. Travel time will decrease, and it even creates an opportunity to compete globally at a global scale. Now you can move things fast. And customers will be satisfied. Next slide. Public benefits. When I was in Africa, the amount of accidents that happened was crazy. I'm talking about head-on collision. That's it. It's preventable. Easily preventable. So, good roads will definitely lead to a decline in accidents. I know stories I will say like simple car accidents in Africa. Easily preventable. Mobility for the public, reliability, accessibility, and more business. Once you get to the road and people know how to move their product from A to B, business will come. Because it'll be a smart thing to do in business. Already, it's happening already. Okay, the future of Africa is bright. More and more people are like going in and investors are going at an alarming rate. Now, how we think makes sense. It does make a lot of sense. Because I know a lot of people that do export and import business. They already exporting cars, exporting cars from here and importing them in Africa at an alarming rate. But the road system is really bad. And reliable highways will lead to a rapid economic growth. It's evident. When I came to the US, the first thing that amazed me was the highway. I thought, how can I ever drive these kind of ways? Because I didn't even know how to read signs and everything. Everything was just like a puzzle, you know. And it was amazing. You had 4 lanes going that way, 4 lanes going the other way. It's amazing. That is it. I want to thank everybody Juggle.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Kante. We know for sure that with what our leaders are doing and with all the ideas that are shared today, that we are on a highway to transforming Africa.
Good morning, Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, young leaders. We're really proud to be here. We're here on behalf of African Girls for Good Governance. I just going to talk about it, and then I'm going to go and talk about my project as well.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, my fellow young leaders, and Your Excellencies. I'd like to thank you for giving us this opportunity to speak about solutions to Africa, and we'd like to thank UNESCO for giving us, the opportunity to be in front of you guys. Thank you. So, All Those for Good Governance is basically a subgroup of African for Good Governance, and our mission is to provide services to women from infant age to women in their elder age, to empower them. Because women, as you know, are half the world's population and are the force of the world. And it is dependent that women and men work together for a just world. So what we do is we provide services, outreach programs such as disease and treatment and prevention, mentoring services. We actually have built movement, cultural movements. We provide educational services and things of that nature. And there will be 2 other presenters from our organization who will be talking about 2 very different movements that we're doing. We'll have one presenter, Mane John, who will be talking about the film movement and how film production can help within the further, cultural outreach in Africa. And we'll talk about the health aspect. The founder and president of African Women for Good Governance, our sister organization, is Ambassador, the Global Ambassador, Madam Cassidy Chiron-Kobe, and she founded.
I just want to say and all of our other youth leaders that took the time out to come here today. My name is Sophia Lateef, and currently I'm a pharmacy student at Long Island University in Brooklyn, New York. And in that context, today I wanted to bring to light a new breakthrough in science that I believe is important for all of us to be aware of and to spread awareness of. And it is the recent discovery and trial of an HIV prevention gel. As many of the UNESCO First Ladies, I am sure, have foundations that work with HIV/AIDS, this is not something that is new to everyone. As there are also many health majors that I've noticed in here too, so I know this is something familiar. For those who may not know though, recently the HIV drug tenofovir, which is marketed as Variac here in the United States, was recently remade into a vaginal gel that women can use to reduce the contraction of HIV. In recent trials, it has shown a 39% reduction in contracting HIV, and for those with high adherence, which is pre and post exposure, it has shown a 54% reduction. And I think I want everyone to just think about this for a little bit, because 54% is more than half in reduction of HIV, which is a terrible, terrible disease. Of course, any reduction in this devastating epidemic can only be a plus, but the implications of this drug reach far beyond that. On top of this, women in particular are targeted with this gel. Women are biologically more prone to contracting HIV. Along with that, they also can transmit it to their children, who innocently enough have to be born and live with this unfortunate disease. Unfortunately, as well, we are also aware that many women in many African countries do not always have a voice in whether or not their partner takes proper precautions in preventing HIV. With this gel, especially women in these situations, where there is not a mutual consent or understanding of protection or monogamy between partners, women are empowered to take control. I believe that it is our job to bring medications and new tools of prevention such as this to life. I believe that all of us here are strong leaders, and it is important for us to be the driving forces for creating awareness and providing funding for projects and technologies that create such a large impact. As a pharmacy student in New York, I have seen the way that HIV and AIDS has caused devastation to those who have proper access and treatment, as well as proper prevention, much less to those who do not have access to these things. I pray that we see the end of this plague in our lifetime, and I pray that we ourselves always stay in good health so that we can continue fighting for those who do not have the same opportunities. I pray we never also take for granted all that we have, and continue to work hard and share our ideas. Thank you.
Welcome. I'm here representing All Girls for Good Governance, the organization that really puts the women's movement forward, and I support them. So thank you for inviting me. Cheers. And again, my name is Mohamed Dion. I'm originally from Guinea in Senegal. I was born in Saudi Arabia. I'm a young actor, filmmaker, specifically actor, writer, producer, director, etc. And through my production company, Cairo Cappuccino Films, I produced a short film called Mafetiga. Mafetiga is probably the most powerful stew in all of Africa. It's a peanut butter stew, for those of you who don't know, and it will change your life, so try it one day. And I wrote a short film. It's 20 minutes and 35 seconds. You won't see the whole thing now. I'll only show you a trailer which is a minute and 30 seconds or less. And the film has been nominated for many awards all around the world. It's played at a lot of film festivals. And it was also nominated at the 2010 Africa Movie Academy Awards in Lagos, Nigeria this year. And here's the trailer, check it out. And I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, the first video.
Hello. I'm sorry to keep you waiting. Had to take care of a few things. How are you doing?
How am I doing? Well, let's see. Things at home suck. I'm swamped with schoolwork. My scholarship hasn't been renewed, and I've been unemployed for the past 3 months because I wouldn't sleep with my boss. So I could be doing better.
So, remember I said I could cover your part of the rent again this month? I can't anymore.
What's wrong?
Nothing.
Introduce your country.
Some things can't be fixed. You wouldn't understand. You guys never do.
Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that. And in summation, the film is about a struggling young African woman who realizes that love is the true connection between her heritage and her future, and she makes this realization through food. So if you want more information, please check out maffetigafilm.com, and we're currently developing the film into a feature film, and we're seeking funding. So anyone interested, just talk to me at the end. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and
to develop the education sector so that generations after us will need to leave Nigerian shores to get a good education. Research here shows that Nigerian students in universities here are among the best in their classes. For example, we know someone in John Hopkins who just graduated with a 3.98 GPA. Breaking John Hopkins records, and John Hopkins is one of the best universities in America. And I have numerous friends in Harvard, in Yale, in Princeton, in Stanford, Nigerians, and everywhere. So it's about time that those of us in the diaspora realize that there's a problem back home, and we have to come together, put all the things we've taken from America, all the good education we've received, go back home and change. I have many friends who have graduated and they're about to go to Nigeria now to start businesses, enter politics, start hospitals, schools. Many of us here intend to go back to Nigeria to make a difference. So we're here to inspire all the young Nigerians in the room to remember that while you're comfortable here, there's a job for you to do back home. It's not enough to come to school here, sit down, and expect Nigeria to change. Nigeria is not going anywhere if you sit down here without doing any job back in Nigeria. So if you come from Lagos, Abuja, Anambra, Enugu, wherever you come from, know that this is not home. Home eventually is Nigeria. So we have no special NGO to promote, but this is coming from our hearts that we want to go back to Nigeria and make a difference. So while we are talking to all of you here, we thank our excellencies for coming to this occasion and gracing us with their event, and we promise that we're going to go back to Africa to make a difference. Thank you.
You made Nigeria proud, and you made all African proud, and we can make sure that we young Africans living in the US are making you proud. Thank you. Next, I'm calling Amy Rosen Iwiki. If she's ready.
Good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Just to piggyback on what those young ladies said, I am also a Nigerian, and I believe in going back as well. And we went back to Nigeria this past January, and we did a health outreach. We partnered up with the local hospital. As she mentioned earlier, we were both registered nurses. We got our local hospital to donate all the supplies that we took there, and we did diabetes awareness and prevention there. We tested about 140 people that came out. It was a huge turnout. It was a tremendous success. We actually had to start turning away people, which was unfortunate, but it was fortunate in the sense that people were so interested and they were begging us, come back, come back. After the outreach, we saw that tons of people there were walking around with abnormal blood sugars, either extremely high, extremely low, and they didn't know. So we educated the nurses on how to identify patients with impaired blood glucose. We also came up with an infection control class for the nurses and the doctors to teach other members of the hospital there, because we saw that as a growing problem as well. And also what we did is, when we came back to the States, we started doing more research, and we found that Sub-Saharan Africa in particular has a lot of money funneled in for HIV, malaria, TB, all communicable diseases. However, things such as diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular disease, there's not enough money going into that. However, that is killing way more people than all those non-communicable diseases. All those communicable diseases, I'm sorry. So we looked at it from a comprehensive approach, and we got some research from the International Diabetes Federation, WHO, the UN, and we saw that there's a lacking of services in that area. And what we saw to be a huge problem is that you could have someone that has their HIV well controlled, so to speak, and they die from a diabetes complication. That should not be. It's something that is so preventable. And what we want to see is we created a model, and we want to see that it is that Sub-Saharan Africa starts to look at healthcare in a comprehensive approach, so that when the patient comes in, with TB, that you don't just send them away after you've treated their TB, that you look at everything. Part of our model started off with creating a political will, which would appeal to the First Ladies. We need to bring awareness to it. We need the government to get behind this and say, okay, this is an issue, and we're going to start to tackle it. Then we
South Korea, and I'm introducing to you today a program we call Brain Education. So before we get started, I'd actually like to ask you, did you bring your brain with you today? Really? Does this help? And so what do I mean about that is are you here right now, or is your mind somewhere else? And so what brain education is an educational program for developing the innate human capacity to reach health, well-being, optimal achievement, and peacefulness through managing our brain effectively. Everything starts from our brain, our thoughts, your emotions, and your health. And so what brain education looks to do is give people the understanding that they have the power to create and manifest their life the way they choose. Our life isn't set in stone. Because my situation is this way, doesn't mean your life has to be that way. And so brain education strives to teach, especially starting from our youth, that they can create their hope in their life. And so what I'd actually like to do is share with you a video. We actually had a project that we did last year in El Salvador, in Central America, where we implemented a 3-month project through an organization called IBREA, which is the International Brain Education Association, which is an NGO in consultative status with the United Nations. And we just actually last week finished a project in Liberia, our 3-month project, and so it was very successful. So I'd like to share you your story with El Salvador.
El Salvador. There are serious issues of crime and violence. Even in broad daylight, there is frequent bloodshed. This is a school in the Distrito Italia, located about 30 minutes from the capital city of San Salvador. Laura is a student here on her way to school today with her sister. She is currently repeating the 8th grade. When they arrive home, Laura and her sister are welcomed by Grandma and baby. They take turns saying hello to the baby. It seems like the baby will be a very young brother. actually, this baby is Laura's son. As soon as she comes home, Laura feeds her baby. What could have happened to this young girl with such a youthful expression? The shocking truth is that the baby's father was Laura's stepfather. The man who raped Laura lost his life to a local gang member not long ago. While her mother was at work all day from early in the morning, Laura, who is the eldest daughter, helps with the housework. This past June, a special project was started at the school. The Foreign Ministry of El Salvador requested the introduction of a Korean brain education program through the UN. Launched with the support of the Department of Education, the project will consist of running the program for 3 months with an experimental group and a control group, then analyzing its effectiveness afterwards. The education was provided to 39 8th grade students and was composed of programs that would promote improved physical health, alleviate stress, and neutralize emotions through breathing, as well as simultaneously awaken latent potential through deep meditation.
We're working with them for 3 months, and we come every day from Monday to Thursday, 1 hour each day. And so we have a very tight curriculum. We want to teach them everything from brain education, all the principles of practice. So we're focusing maybe on the first month, we focused on the body, and the second month on the emotions, and then the third month we're on their life goals and motivation.
일단 그 아이들이 처음에는 전혀 관심이 없었고 심지어는 클래스에 잘 안 들어오고 그래서 애들을 찾아다니고 클래스에 막 끌고 오고 그런 정도로 시작이 어려웠었는데요.
Now, 3 months later, the attitude of the students is considerably different. The students' attitudes were the only things that changed. Most of the students who participated in the classes said they felt a change in themselves.
Yo sentía que era muy aburrido, pues que en realidad me reía. Todas mis compañeras, mi familia me decía que era bien enojada, que era bien seria. Y después que empecé a las clases de inglés, mi vida fue cambiando. Mi hermana ya casi no me dice, sos bien seria, pero a veces sí soy seria, pero antes casi nunca reía. Ahora que siempre tomo la risa.
The most noticeable change is the attendance rate.
So it's actually a little bit of a longer video, and so basically what I'm going to share with you is that it has a huge impact on the children, and so what actually happened was, what was really amazing is that there's such a strong violence in that area of the country, and the children of the parents are actually gang members, and so what ended up happening is the gang parents, they're like, what's happening with my child? They're happy and they're doing their homework, I don't have to push them and things, and so what actually ended up happening, it created a sense of community, and now the gang parents are the ones protecting the school, so that the program can keep being still there. And so what we see is that the issues in Africa is facing us today are very similar to that of El Salvador, and so currently, again, like I stated, we did the project in Liberia, and it was so amazing to see all the pictures and sharing the children how to give. And so we do have a table outside, so you're more than welcome to come see. And if you would like more information on our project, you can go to IBREA.org, which is this website here. It's spelled IBREA, and again, that means the International Brain Education Association. So thank you again so much for your time.
Ladies, I'd like to thank UNESCO for allowing me this opportunity to be here. My name is Rochelle Longhang. I'm a 17-year-old high school student at Paint Branch High School. And my did was called Reserve the Motherland. So it's targeting the health issues that are in Africa. And you know, like a lot of health issues are in Africa, and they're like deteriorating our people and deteriorating our land. So 2 things that I would like to implement there is free health clinics and the sending of American physicians down there, and also to implement oral health care. Down there, when the physicians can go down there, they can educate other people on how to better their health, and as long as also they can educate with the oral health. Oral health is one thing that is very, very important to all people, and oral health care can prevent other diseases in the body. So when we don't have proper oral health care, that leads to other diseases developing, and then people dying from diseases that could be easily prevented. So with oral health care, I created an idea called Operation Healthy Teeth, which consists of toothbrush, toothpaste, mouthwash, and floss. So as the physicians go down there at the free clinics, they can distribute little bags like that to all the people, so that they can go home and, you know, brush their teeth, take care of their teeth, and, you know, prevent diseases that could develop. Also, when they go down there, they can also give them a take-home bag. And the take-home bag, that would consist of a washcloth, a bar of soap, hand sanitizer, Band-Aids and antibiotic ointment, and also toothbrush and toothpaste again, so the people can take care of themselves, because a lot of people, they don't have those items at home, which leads them more infection and other things that can be easily prevented. So, you know, me being from Cameroon, well, I'm born here, but I'm from Cameroon originally, I would like to help, you know, like, being from Cameroon, and I would like to give back to my community and also help other Africans give back to their communities as well. So I feel that these ideas can go a long way. Thank you very much.
But I think my very first question to him is, how many minutes do you expect to speak? Because if I have to introduce, you give me all the time to introduce my First Lady, you can be here for the next 1 hour listening to me. Your Excellencies, First Lady of Nigeria and Ghana, my colleague the Ambassador of Ghana, officials of the UNESCO Center for Peace, young fellows, extremely impressive young fellows. Your performance has given us hope that our future in Africa is secure. From the diverse array of talents and skills I've seen, there's every hope to believe, there's every reason to believe that for us in Africa, Africa is actually the continent of the future. It's not only resources that were blessed, they were also blessed in human resources, skills, and specialization. My task is to introduce my First Lady. And before I go on, let me just say announce that when those young fellows from Nigeria came to speak, after I finished, I made a point that they want now to go back to Nigeria to give back to that country. The next thing my First Lady told me is that make sure that by this time next year, they give me a progress report of what your bishop has done to encourage them. As I told you, your wish is my command. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce to you your friends somebody who is just directly the kind of person you need for this occasion. You have been doing a good job, and by the array of talents what you have given to us, we know that you're already on the right track. What we only need to do this morning is to continue to encourage you to do what you have been doing. And so, I will thank the UNESCO Center for Peace for having succeeded in bringing to this occasion someone who can just be described in few words as a motivator par excellence.
Your Excellency, my dear sister, the First Lady of Ghana, Your Excellency, Nigerian Ambassador to the United States, Your Excellency, the Ghana Ambassador also to the United States. The representative of the First Lady of Gabon, that is here with us. Your Excellency, wife of the Governor of Benue State, and members of Nigerian Ghana delegates and also Gabon delegates that are here. My dear youths, delegates from across United States that are here with us. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen. First of all, before I go into my speech, let me first of all congratulate the Nigerian youths who are present here today. I commend their brilliance and sense of patriotism. I want to assure you that we will make your dreams come true. I am highly delighted to be a part of this First Lady's Youth in Future Summit, which is part of the program of UNESCO for raising a new generation for peacemakers and empowered youths. I have two NGOs, ARR Foundation and Women for Change and Development Initiative. My passion to empower women and youth to become self-reliant and contribute to society and their families socially, economically, and politically. To assist the less privileged and destitute, to assist children with heart disease, to receive treatment both locally and abroad, to assist in combating factors responsible for maternal and child mortality in Nigeria, to make sure that every child born in Nigeria henceforth is HIV free. To help reduce stigmatization of those living positive and give them a sense of belonging. I am also a strong believer in peace as a tool for meaningful development. As a result of this, I travel around the 36 states of Nigeria, including the Federal Capital Territory, to sensitize women to advocate for peace in their homes, communities, local governments, states, and the nation at large. I am similarly a strong advocate for 35% affirmative action for women in Nigeria. ARR Foundation is positioned in such a way that it trains beneficiaries in skill acquisition and provides them with relevant tools to facilitate their effective launch into the entrepreneurship arena. And we do that free of charge. It has been training women and youth skills such as housemaking, tailoring, catering, hairstyling, carpentry, and many more vocations. Since inception, the NGO has graduated more than 4,000 trainees who receive their training free of charge. These beneficiaries have become self-reliant, and the economic status of their families has improved. Furthermore, we are encouraging women to attempt businesses and vocations generally considered exclusive to men. An example is a recent initiative I have called in Nigeria called Lady Chafe Scheme, a training program for young women interested in commercial driving. Over 200 young ladies are currently on the program. The head department of area sponsor children with heart diseases from heart surgeries both locally and abroad. To date, about 300 children have benefited. In furtherance of this, and following our experiences in this activity, we are currently building a state-of-the-art 1,250-bed heart hospital for children in Nigeria. This is truly completed with availability of adequate funds to support the initiative. The foundation also engaged women of family planning, safe motherhood, and campaigns against female genital mutilation and harmful role practices. The foundation is also involved in the distribution of insecticide-treated elements with 20,000 mosquito nets already distributed to families in all 36 states of Nigeria, including the FCT so far. In the area of education, the foundation awards scholarship to orphans and indigents up to the university level. Students in Abuja, Nigeria are currently enjoying some scholarships, and I am happy to report that they are doing very well. These are some of the ways we have been able to assist the youth to realize their trades and position them to contribute meaningfully to national development. Though in our case, they are headed by the second NGO, Women for Change and Development Initiative. We have been able to synthesize the purpose and initiated programs that are awakening awareness of women, fundamental human rights and obligations as citizens of Nigeria. Women for Change and Development Initiative was involved in a nationwide campaign advocating for the inclusion of women in both elective and appointing positions in governance in line with the GDP declaration. The Federal Executive Council, the highest policy-making body, organs of government, has approved the 35% affirmative action in line with the GDP declaration. This has yielded positive results with appointments of 13 women into the Federal Executive Council, the highest so far in the history of our country, Nigeria. It may interest you to know that these women oversee most of the key ministries like finance, petroleum, education, aviation, water resources, science and technology, as well as environment. You know, we are one of the people that produce a woman that contested for with a man. when it comes to banking industry, the highest in the whole world. So we have African women. Yes. Another aspect of the Women Change and Development Initiative intervention is in the area of parents. An integrated health program has been initiated under the agency to develop and implement strategies to promote health care and minimize maternal and infant mortality. It is also designed to accelerate the elimination of mother-to-child transmission of HIV and AIDS, EMTCT, as well as other diseases that affect women and children. In order to discourage stigmatization of persons living with HIV/AIDS, we regularly interact with them through various activities to give them a sense of belonging. We believe our awareness campaign has helped to reduce the number of children who stand in risk of mother-to-child transmission of HIV/AIDS. These are some of our experiences in Nigeria, but this is not without various challenges that are slowing down the effective implementation of our programs. We are all aware that the Office of the First Lady does not attract budgetary allocation in different countries. Funding, therefore, has been a major challenge in the execution of our projects, which require heavy financial commitments. Most of our projects are being funded with donors by those affiliated, good-spirited individuals who appreciate the good work we are doing. These supports are becoming inadequate as many children with heart conditions are still on the waiting list because of failures to meet a high demand of surgeries. Also, more needy children will have benefited from our scholarship scheme if adequate funding is available. Apart from funding, the issue of capacity building is also one of the challenges we are facing. We need to train and retrain our staffs so that they can ensure that our programs have significant bearing on national development. We also need people to donate starter packs for all people who have completed their training to enable them to become self-reliant. In addition, there is a need for capacity building for the graduates of our skills acquisition program in order to add value to their products to make them more marketable. It is for this that we require strategic partnership, sponsorship, and support from the private sector in executing the various programs earlier mentioned. I want to assure you of my commitment to the goal of a brighter future for the women and youth, and I shall not hesitate to take advantage of these summits to engage in dialogue, seek collaboration, and partnership to realize this goal. May I also say that I am a firm believer in UNESCO ideals of making the culture of peace a content of our daily lives, thus promoting human rights, respect for our commonly shared values, as well as the elevation of poverty. My NGO, the Women for Change and Employment Initiative, recognize the role women play in peace building in view of the current global situation. We realize that women are both together in the social fabric of any society.
Your Excellency, Dr. Mrs. Jonathan, First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Ambassador of Nigeria to the United States of America, the Ambassador of Ghana to the United States of America, all Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to be offered this opportunity to tell you about what I do. Personally, I'm a modest person and I wouldn't like to blow my horn. But sometimes when you are given the opportunity, you have to do it. But for the youth, now my country, Ghana, is a youthful country because we have a lot of young people, and the Bible says, excuse me, I have to quote the Bible. Train up a child the way he should go, and when he's old, he will not depart from it. So we need to guard and guide the youth. Otherwise, events will overtake us. I'm a teacher. Yesterday, I don't know if she's here today. She's here. Yes. Right here. Oh, there she is. I was secondary school. I discovered her 3 days ago. Many girls, I taught in the girls' school, the school I went to. Many girls passed through our hands. I wasn't the only teacher. They paid their school fees. There were other teachers who contributed to their well-being. So there are many girls who have passed through our hands who are in all kinds of professions. And I give glory to God for that. I'm happy for their lives, that they did not waste their time. I was strict but fair. Yes. All because it was a mission school and our teachers who were mostly from Great Britain were not hard, but they taught us the right thing to do. So when I went back to my school to teach, I went back to the school I went to. I tried to instill that same idea in my students. Letters thanking me for all that I did for them. I say I'm grateful to God for that. As I said, our country has a lot of young people. And we have a ministry, youth and sports. This ministry is responsible for youth development in the country. A national youth policy was recently launched to promote the welfare of the Ghanaian youth. The role of this National Youth Employment Program as a unit within the Ministry of Youth and Sports. The program addresses the country's youth unemployment. Unemployment is a big issue, and especially in a developing country like mine. You find the young people selling in the street because at the end of the day, they can see the money they need. But this is not all about employment. You want to invest so that when you are no longer able to work, you have something to do with what you see. And besides, you have children and other dependents to train. So that's why it's important to learn a business or a profession. I was a teacher, as I said, but once a teacher, you're always a teacher. So I think I was a teacher. Because you see somebody doing something wrong and you feel like telling the person, putting the person on the right path. An outcome of my savings and my pension went into building a school in a deprived area. Children who otherwise wouldn't have access to education. I couldn't believe when I sent a team to look for a village. I thought they would come back to say they couldn't find one. A village that didn't have a school. And there were several. I chose this one because the children had to walk to school at the mercy of the water. And then on the way, some adults took advantage of them. And so I said a school would be good. And I wanted a school, but not just any school, a child-friendly school. A school that will make the child want to go to school and stay in school. So I designed the structure myself. It allows, I'm not an architect, but I knew what I wanted. It allows free ventilation. And then you feel that you are free, you know, that this school is not far from the sea. There's a strip of land between the sea and the school. And it's sprawling, you see. And there are all kinds of facilities. Sanitation is very important. Yes. Yes. Then a farm where they can practice agriculture. Playing fields, football field, and there's a lot of salt in the area. That's industry in the area. So it is difficult to even get water for during the construction of the building. We didn't have to dig deep into the ground and then sort of put a pool of salty water. All these were things that had to be done. And about raising funds, it was difficult, but I prayed about it. And first of all, I emptied my savings and yes, I did that so that these children will have access to school. And you know that the Bills administration has put into effect free distribution of free textbooks, uniforms, and stationery. So these are being used in the school. And I've also provided computer services. So even though these children come from this deprived area, you can count the number of buildings in the area and a few trees. They will learn all these skills as they go. And our youth need to go back to the land because we have an aging farming community. Their children don't want to be farmers. So we have to introduce them to it. Otherwise, we'll be importing basic and common food items. These will not help the economy. You also need to provide course for the youth so that they find something well to do with their time. And I did some studies into drug abuse, drug use by the youth. When they have nothing to do, they do these things. Another problem is streetism, where children, young people leave their villages for greener pastures in the cities. They end up sleeping in the streets, and they are the mercy of other people. I went to a function, a children's function, Christmas function at the Children's Hospital in Accra, and there were different groups labeled, and I saw street children, one label reading street children. But I looked at them and I realized that they were not the usual street children who go to universities. These were neatly dressed. So I asked, and I was told that they were children of street children, second generation. You see, the danger is that their parents were born in homes. They were born in the street. So what is their future? So these are some of the things I care about in society. Generally, I've been invited to all kinds of programs, but my passion is, or my natural desire is to be in education and health. Somebody once asked, which comes first, the chicken or the egg? I think you have to be born healthy first. Yes. And then you'll be educated. I have helped women build and complete maternity blocks so that the women can have their babies in peace and in clean environment. I'm sure you all know about the MDGs, Millennium Development Goals. 4 and 5 are crucial to developing countries, and we have to meet the goal by 2015. So I made a nationwide tour over the whole country. We have 10 days. I met the opinion leaders at the regional capitals, and I was happy to say men were very well represented, because in most cases they decide when a woman should have children and how many. So even they took the message home. We haven't started seeing immediate results, but they will come. In some areas, the percentages have increased, and I believe that it's because the awareness has been created. So more and more people are looking for skilled delivery. On their way, all kinds of things happen. But the men who came to these meetings decided that they will help build roads, build maternity blocks, buy ambulances, help donate blood or do blood campaign. And all these eventually, after a while, will help reduce our numbers, because our figures are unacceptable. And this is true with almost all developing countries. Some developed countries have overcome the problem. And my hope is that with more and more education, many countries will overcome this problem and go ahead with development. There are areas where the youth can concentrate on. As we said, they can be farmers if they don't want to. But if you have had a good education, you'll be able to manage your farm. Livestock and poultry farming, fisheries and aquaculture, agri businesses. When the farmers labor to grow their crops and harvest them, sometimes getting them to the market is a big problem. I've seen crates and crates of tomatoes getting rotten by the roadside because nobody is willing to tell them to help the farmers take them to the farm. So these are issues. Whenever I meet the youth, these are the things I talk to them, because they can't remain youth forever. they will have to do. And their parents cannot forever care for them. So they must have in mind what it is after all. Development from being a child, when you develop from being a child to an adult, you go through, your body goes through a lot of changes. So I also help the youth to understand what's happening to them. And one problem with the youth is that they keep asking themselves, what am I going to be when I grow up? You can't continue to live in your mother's house. There comes a time when you have to provide for your parents. And once I went to a school, I asked them, how many of you think you are going to school because your parents want you to do? I didn't believe me. One hand went up. And I said, it shouldn't be so. You should find a future for yourself. You know, I can go on and on. But we also, as adults, need to teach these young people. If we don't teach them, they won't know about their bodies and how to practice good hygiene for their bodies. As they grow, things change. They are no longer the little girls or boys that they are. We have to tell them what is happening. They get confused when they don't understand what is happening to them. Some wake up and they find that there are a lot of pimples on their face. An adult should be able to explain all these things to a child, that since your body is changing, there are these hormones that are affecting various parts of your body, especially your skin and all this. And then they will understand. But most importantly, we have to tell them that they have to work towards a future. And standing in the street selling sachet water will not take you far. This is why education is very, very, very important. Functional education, basic education. My school is a basic education with pre-education, 2 years of pre-education. Many of us didn't have that opportunity. But now it is very important that we introduce children to these things. I was told on the internet that I will speak for 10 minutes. I think I won't be on it. But I'm happy for this opportunity. And if you remember, one of the young people talked about agriculture. Yes. So let's encourage them. And remember that we have to set a good example. You cannot lie and steal and do things that are not acceptable when your child is around or a younger person is around, because they will do exactly what you are doing. You cannot tell them, don't lie when in their ears and in their eyes you are doing it. So we have to be living models. Yes. You don't think as an adult you can do it, but the child cannot. Children learn very fast. I think I have done a fair job. I always tell my students that when you write an examination paper, you should be able to assess yourself. Yes, 60%, 70%. I think I'm in the A class.
From Nigeria, they had a question. I mean, they presented something. And I heard this when I was traveling in Nigeria, as a matter of fact. But some of the young people were saying, you simply, I'll consider what I heard. Some of the young people were saying we did not want to go back to what we saw. But I like what I heard from you all, that yes, we must go home because of what we learned and take back. Can anybody talk about that from different countries? What is your take on that? Where are your young leaders from? New York? Well, you all the founder and president of African American Women in Cinema that's based in New York City. And I just want to say it is an honor and a privilege to be here to hear the meeting of the minds and also the exchange. It's very inspirational, and certainly I want to see what I can personally do as an organization to make sure that this continues, and just it's an honor and a privilege to be here in your presence. And thank you so much for this opportunity and space.
And while she's walking over there, media is important too. I heard you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Mariam Conde, and I'm from West Africa. I'm a young designer. I am the creative director of Congo Desert, and we actually have a page on Facebook. It's called The Woman. The idea is to build confidence in women and pretty much give them the tools to progress as well. To answer to your question, basically, I feel like instead of calling it war back home, I see it more like globalization. We should be more aware of